Shabuah, the week, the 7 days to come. Here we're at the first day that they call Sunday, but actually Hebraically the first day of the set, the first day of the Shabuah right here. May Yahuwah bless the I, and I. You know, of course, his face, his grace, his shine on I and I. Give I and I Yeshua, victory, salvation, overcoming, shalom. The eternal covenant of shalom, of peace. Interesting, we get to the Haftarah reading, the prophet's reading, right? The prophet's reading coming forth for this the Shabbat of comfort. You know, these words of comfort right here are very, very important. You know, as we balance it out, you know, what we read, in fact, in this Torah reading and feeding, there's a baraka, right? And there's a kalala. And so what we sought to go through, just touch on the key words there, how significant it is. In hearing the first three aliyot, you know, in the first three readings, I heard something that I'd like to elaborate on. It says, like how everyone did that which was right in their own eyesight, right? That which was right in their own eyesight. Let's see if we can load it up. If we don't have it for the live streaming right now, we'll bring it up. Which verse it was. It was one of the verses where it says, we know that that's the Yashar. When it says that which is good and right in your own sight. Let's see if we can look that up, and we'll try to connect the screen right here, you know, since we're at the beginning of this, and then get right into Torah reading and feeding. But just to bring out a word, right, or a theme, you know. So let me just type this in right here. Good and right in their own sight, just to confirm, right? Confirm this right here. The verse in this Torah reading and feeding. Hold on for a moment. This thing, the typing thing, sometimes the touch screen, you know how it is, technology. But we push through. So right here, let's see where we're at right here. It is Deuteronomy. It was 12:28, right? So the verse right here, you know, the verse right here in this Torah reading and feeding was 12:28, where it says in the English to observe and hear all these words that I command. Pause. Let's do this right here. Let's see if we can attach the screen right here. Give me one moment. I think we'll have the attachment right here. Okay. All right. Pray to I. We're still in the old podcast. I mean, the old, we have to kind of go to the first day service. Give me one moment. But the verse is 12:28. Right? Ones who can kind of go to the script and just review it, it's 12:28. Go check out 12:28. Okay, here we go right here. We're going to bring on the screen right here. Let's say add to stage right there. And then let me present this. Give me one moment, the presentation of this, so you can see where we're at. It was on the word Yashar. All right, going to touch on the so-called book of Jasher. All right, so, okay, here it goes right here. Good and right. Let's see if this is the word. There we go, boom. Yashar. All right, Yashar, that which is Yashar. All right, now BDB defines Yashar as straight. You know, in the New Testament, they say there's a way, there was a road or a way, and the way was called straight. All right, in the Hebrew, that is the Hayashar. All right, the way, that way was called the Yashar. That way was called the straight way. Upright, correct, right, straight, level, right, pleasing, correct, straightforward, just, upright, fitting, prosper, a sense of prosper, uprightness, righteous, upright, that which is upright as a substantive, right? Let's scroll down here to Strong's. You see, straight. So the Yashar sense, you see it says it's from the H3474. We click on that, we have Yashar again. What's the difference between that Yashar, you know, as like a more like a noun and an adjective sense, and then we have Yashar here as a verb. Let me scroll down here just to show you the part of speech it is. Part of speech, it is a verb. Let's go to the top. So we have Yashar. The verb is like the root of the nouns, the adjectives, and the other forms of the word. So we have the Yashar, right? Yashar is to be right. Yashar to be straight, to be level, to be upright, to be, can have a connotative sense of be just, that which is right. to be lawful, to be smooth. This is some of the, ways the word can be defined into the English. But notice what it says to be right here in the second entry for the H3474, Yashar, looking at the verb here, is to be pleasing, to be agreeable, to be right. And then it says in the figurative, the figure of speech. Right? So let's scroll down here to the Strongs. Strong's define this as the primitive root, the Ethiopic, the ancient Afro-Shemitic connection, to be straight or even, right? Straight or even. In the figurative sense, it's to be, right? In the causative sense, is to make. So the cause, the Yashar, is the cause to be right, the cause to be pleasant, the cause to be prosperous. In the basic sense of the word is to be right, to be pleasant, to be prosperous. So we went through this right here, right? So we have Yashar, that's brought out as Jasher. More properly, it should be Jashar, right? But Yashar, literally or figuratively straight. So let's read this verse once again. Deuteronomy is in Torah reading and feeding for Parashat Re'eh. Observe and hear. Notice the word observe, shamar, to observe, to guard, to give heed to, and to shama, to listen, to hear, to listen. The implication there is to obey, right? To hear and obey all these words. The bar, singular word, right? Here we have this fifth book of Moshe, known from the Hebrew Judaic perspective as debarim, as the words, that I command thee, that it may go well with thee, and with thy children, thy sons, thy children after thee forever. When thou doest good, right? When you doest tov, when you do good, right? Good, that which is good is that which is pleasant, that which is agreeable, right? Pleasant in the sense of to the higher nature, good, excellent, of its kind, good, rich, valuable in estimation, good, appropriate. Also in a translation, that which is becoming. Good in the Hebrew, tov, can be used in a comparative sense of better. Almost like I am gooder than he, in a Hebrew sense, like better in that sense, or glad, happy, prosperous. This is now reflecting how we use good, man's sensuous nature. Sensuous nature or nature, that which is glad, tending to happiness or prosperity or prosperous. Also the good in the sense of the good understanding. Right? When we now look at man's intellectual nature, his intellectual nature, right? Good, kind, benign, right? Now look at this. The J has there the ethical. So there's a different context, right? We say the spirit, not just the letter, but the spirit. In what sense do you mean good, right? You can mean good. We can mean good in the right sense, right? That which is right. Now, notice this in Hebrew, it could be good and right in the translative sense, right? But it's not the word sadiq or tzedek, which is righteousness or justice. But here for the word good is a good thing. But I want to bring this out to y'all. So often it's like good and evil. The tree is not the good and evil. Tov ra, right? But another way of translating that so we can get a better understanding, that which is beneficial and that which is harmful, that which is not beneficial, right? And the sense of good, right? A good thing is that which is a benefit, that which is welfare, that which is for one's welfare, to fear well, right? Fearing well, fearing good, in a sense, prosperity, happiness, just to see some of the senses of this word good as it's understood. It's not really a static thing, It's according to the spirit. So remember it says good, right? As an adjective, it's in the widest sense and used likewise as a noun, right? So both, we have this within the Hebrew, the same word. We have to determine what's the sense of it. Is this a noun, right? Or is this an adjective, right? Or is it in the verbal sense, right? It can be both in the masculine, tob, we say tob, in the masculine sense, and it can be in the feminine sense, toba, tova, tova, tov, tova, tob, toba, right? The singular and the plural sense, right? Tob or tobin, right? The sense of tobin, the plural sense, good, right? But another way to understand this is that which is beneficial, right? That which is beneficial, like that which is evil, ra, is that which is harmful, bad, and disagreeable. That which is agreeable, to, that which is disagreeable, ra, right? So here it says that it may be well. So we have to observe and hear to all the words that Moshe here in this Torah reading and feeding is commanding thee. Now notice there is this beautiful kind of symmetry and even scriptural sacred geometry between the singular and the plural sense, as we was touching on re, the singular word, see, as though you're speaking to one man. And then as he goes on, Moshe, in the first words of this Torah reading and feeding, he says, Re'e anoki anotena lifnechem hayom rato ukalala. See, Re'e, speaking to all Yisrael as one man, right? Anoki, I myself, right? Anoki, right? I, notain, am giving, right? Am setting or giving, lifnei kem. Lifnei, before the faces, right? To the faces, before kem. Kem, you all, hayom. So that there between the singular sense in that command word, and then in the context of who is doing it, Moshe, right, here in these Torah reading and feedings, and who is he speaking to, this new generation of the Bnei Yisrael. So this verse is an interesting verse, but it's to bring out the Yashar sense is why I'm zooming in on it. Because as we find the word, where do we find the word Yashar, or the so-called translative Jasher, in the Torah will give us an idea, or in the scripture will give us an idea of what is the Sefer. Come in the word Sefer. Sefer can be book, but really it's from Safar, to tell, to recount, right? So that word can also be used in a verbal sense, right, of telling, narrating or telling of something. You know, as that telling, that narration many times was written in a missive or a document or a scroll, and this is how we get the idea of book. So Sefer is always not, we use it even today for book, but in the ancient, it wasn't like book as we have it. It's like a writing. But it comes from the root verb aspect of telling, recounting, narrating. Like I would tell of all thy marvelous works. You know, right? This is a sense of, you know, the word safar, right, as a verb of recounting. But then as a noun, we have the sefer or the sefer, right, which is a book. Right, just to point that out. But it says right here, the words that he commands thee, right, that it may go well with thee. So the thee here, we can tell even from the English that here he's speaking to the Bnei Yisrael, the sons of Israel, as the son, right, as Yahweh's son, all as one man, right, and with thy children, or the Hebrew, thy sons, right, after thee, right, forever. Right? When thou doest, see the key word? It begins off with the commands to observe, shamar, to hedge about, to observe, and to shama, to hear, right? With the implication to obey, to hear like attentively, intelligently, right? Do what? Observe and hear to the debarim that Moshe has commanded Inai. Why? That it may go well. Look at the word well. The word well is yatab. Yatab. What is yatab? Yatab basically means to make something tov. So tov is like, it can be a noun or adjective for good, but yatab here is the verb, to be good, right? To be pleasing, right? The sense can be brought out to make something good, right? To make it good, right? To make a thing good is to make it right, to make it beautiful, to make it well, right? Good. This is the causative right here. Look at some of the senses of yatab, that it may be well, right? To be, right? Well, right? To make well, right? To be sound. Sound means like healthy, right? And health also can link with beauty, since beauty is symmetry, right? In the figurative sense, to make it happy, successful, and right. So that literally says that it may go good. See, in the Hebrew sense, to break it down simply, that it may go well, and say that it may go good. It may be good with the eye, and with your sons, your children, after the eye. forever, 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 ever. Olam, olam. Olam is of long duration, right? Whether past, right, or whether future. The Hebrew sense of this is to the time out of mind, whether time out of mind in the past, time out of mind in the future. This was an interesting word because it goes with Yahweh's nature, that he is eternal, right? In the sense that he is in the past, he dwells there. The past is open to him. He who was, he who is, he who will be. Wahu haya, wahu haweh, wahu yihyeh, betifara, in glory. The sense of eternity, right, to time indefinite. When thou doest. So all this brings it down to the action. So the observing and the hearing and the seeking to obey, be obedient, right, is for the benefit of it being well with I and I seed, and I children after I, right? But this can only happen when we do it, right? When we asa, 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 right? The asa, asa. Asa means to do, to make, right? When we do make what, right? The good and right, right? When we do is right in the sight of Yahuwah Eloheka. Note that right there. Because when we look at the book of Yehoshua, known as Joshua, right? In the book of Joshua, and then we go to the book of Judges, particularly scroll past Joshua to Judges, to Shoftim. In Shoftim, there's this refrain that we find in the book that really sums up the context of the age and the time of the book of Shoftim, right? The Sefer Shoftim, or the book of Judges, right? Where it says that every man did that which was what? Good and right, right? And what? And Yashar, he did the Jasher in his own sight. This is interesting, the book of Jasher. There's a lot of different versions of it, but none of them is really the ancient version of it. One is a midrash, a rabbinical midrash, right? The other one is a more ancient form of, when I say ancient, another earlier compilation, right, of various things that we find in other writings, particularly what they would call certain Talmudic writings, and was compiled with the scripture on one hand, and then filling in some of the blanks. Some things are more or less accurate, but there's some glaring inconsistencies and inaccuracies in the commonly held book of Jasher, right? But the point is on what is Yashar. Often we say Yashar is upright, right? Yes, Yashar is, in that sense, upright. We find that in the translation. But we get to the root of the sense of the idea, means that which is straight, that which is good and straight and straightforward, right? And in that sense, right, right? And therefore upright in the sight, in the what? In the ayin, ayin, ayin. What is ayin, right? The ayin, 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 the ayin is the eye. Notice what it says about the eye, right? The eye, we have the physical eye. The eye, right, in the principles, the Hebraic and the ancient Afro-Shemitic principles, in Hebrew and also in other languages, here we're focusing on the Yehudi, the Ivrit, it shows the mental qualities, right? The eye, right, referring to the mental, the spiritual faculty, spiritually. What does Rabbeinu Yeshua says? Unless your eye be singular, right? The eye being singular. The eye also, ayin is a spring, a fountain. But here it says, in the sight, literally in the Hebrew, it's in the eye, like in the eyes of Yahuwah Eloheka. Now, this is interesting because this is a part of this Torah reading and feeding that begins off pointing to something that we must do subjectively speaking. What is it that we must do subjectively speaking? Is see, right? Is see, And remember the word see, we touched on this before, we'll touch on it again as we move forward, Yah willing, can also mean to consider. When you see in Proverbs and elsewhere in the scripture, in some places in the scripture, when it says, and I considered, in the KJV version, Ra'iti, Ra'iti, Ra'iti in Hebrew means I saw. Ra'iti etzeh, I saw that. Ra'iti etzeh, I saw that. Ra'iti, 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 right? And also another peculiar, interesting nuance between the word to see and the word for evil, or to do that which is harmful and bad, From an English perspective, they look similar, right? But they're not the same. So in English, sometimes they will have the root word as R-A, comma, apostrophe A-H. But one is re'eh, re'ah, 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 right? To see re'ah. And the other is ra, because it's the oin, ra, right? That little nuance there is a particular something, 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 right? But be that as it may, the yashar. And now there's other areas of yashar, like I think we have yashar here, right? Yashar there, right? Yashar, right? Yashar, right? We just looked up these key words here: good, right, and sight. Now, before the previous Torah reading, if you had Deuteronomy 6:18, and thou shalt do that which is what? Yashar, that which is straight, that which is level. This is how we level up in Yahuwah's sight, that which is fitting, that which is proper, right? And tov, right? And tov, and good and beneficial, right? In the ayn, the eye, the eyes, right? Of Yahuwah, of he who be, who he be, that it may be yatab, that it may be good, yatab, right? To be good, pleasing, right? That it may be good with thee, and that thou mayest go in, right? To go in and possess, right? The good land, the Tovah, right? The Tovah Arsah, right? Toba, the whole link with Toba, the archaic name of Ethiopia, right? Tobiah, right? Tobiah, the good, right? The good land, Tovah Arsah, the good land that Yahuwah swear, right, to thy fathers, to thy patriarchs. And here is not just speaking of all their daddies. So even speaking to the sons of Israel here at this point of the narrative is speaking of Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, what we call the patriarchal, the Hebrew trinity of the patriarchs, as he is Elohei, the Elohim of HaShalush, of the three, right, to thy fathers, right, because of what he had promised to Abraham, to Yitzhak, and to Yaakov. He clearly says in HaTorah, right, even through Moshe, that he is doing this, not because so much as of the children of Israel, right, but because of their patriarchs. So it's interesting to look at this right here, 6:18, with good, right, and sight. The key words: good, right, sight, seeing, sight, re'eh, see the good, see the right, sight. And Deuteronomy 12:28, and with a reason we like to bring forward, right, choosing, right, how we have to choose to see. But here for the first day, right? Yeah, here on the first day service, right here, we're going to pick up. We have the 4th, 5th, and the 6th and 7th aliyot right here. Let's begin off with the Baruch. Baruch. Rastafari. Okay. My bad. Here on the board, I'm gonna have to probably call back in because sometimes the sound. Yeah, no, you can hear me, but you can't hear the audio. The board is not. The board is not. I can't hear the audio. Yeah, like to monitor what's going on right here. Pray the eye right here. Let's just hit it off with the first day Psalm right here, Psalm 24, and we'll pick up with the 4th to the 7th aliyot, the Haftarah and Brit Chadasha, the prophet's reading for the Shabbat of comfort, right? And we can, walk in that comfort of Yahuwah Eloheinu in this new Shabbat here, Shabbat Tov, and the Brit Chadasha. So
Psalm 24. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. For he hath founded it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord, or who shall stand in his holy place? He that hath clean hands and a pure heart, who hath not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. He shall receive the blessing from the Lord, and righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. Selah. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be ye lift up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord of hosts. He is the King of glory. Selah, 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 Selah.
You know, right here, as we get ready for the fulfillment of the reading and feeding right here, the Sabbatical manna, here at the beginning of this new strong right here. On that thing, lift up your heads. Here, Everton Blender right here. Yes, sir.
Still we striving for better, and we not gonna stop till the battle is won and we get justice. Cause if you lose your stand, anyone will try to push you over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the Bible pitfalls and they worry. They endure for one night, but joy cometh in the morning. And if you lose your soul, there's nothing to gain. It will be over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the Now go bow cause the color of my skin. Now go cheat because me want to win. Now see the crown and still no know the king. Now see blessing and no know blessing. Cause if you lose your stand, there comes someone to push you over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Time getting older, still we striving for better. And we're not gonna stop till the battle is won and we get justice. Cause if you lose control, they'll send someone to run you over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize.
Here, ready to read up. Right here.
Judge thy light, and I be a testament for the light that shineth within I. Humble lion, I have to forward and reach a Mount Zion. Through following the light of the Lamb and the Lion, the most holy one, the Father and the Son. Read it in the Old and the New Testament. Me I tell you to read up your Bible.
Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, O children of Israel?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Adonai Echad.
Shema, Yisrael. Here the fourth and fifth aliyot right here.
Here. Shema, Yisrael. Here. Give ear. Here for the Rabi'i aliyah, the fourth aliyah for this Shabbat Re'eh, Sabbath, behold. Here picking up with the fifth book of Moses, the Hebrew book called Deuteronomy. Here Deuteronomy chapter 14 for the Rabi'i aliyah, for the fourth reading, the fourth offering up for this Shabbat Re'eh. Banim atem la Yahuwah Eloheikem lo tita giddu lo tasimu arha beina ayenekem lamet. Ye, y'all are the children of Yahweh Eloheikem, of Jehovah Yal Elohim. Banim atem la Yahuwah Eloheikem. Ye, y'all, shall not cut yourselves, lo tita giddu, nor make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. Lo tasimu karha beina ayenekem lamet. For thou art an holy people, a set apart people, la Yahweh Eloheka, to Jehovah the I Elohim. Yahweh, Jehovah, hath chosen thee, to be a peculiar, treasured, a peculiar people to himself, above all the nations, the goyim, the nationalities that are upon the earth, the plain. The dietary, the liberty laws, Torot, directions, instructions. Verse 3. Thou shalt not eat any abominable thing. These are the beasts which ye all shall eat, the ox, the sheep, and the goat, the hart and the roebuck, and the fallow deer, and the wild goat, and the pigarg, and the wild ox, and the chemois, and every beast that parteth the hoof, and cleaveth the cleft into two claws, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that ye y'all shall eat. Nevertheless, these ye y'all shall not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the cloven hoof, as the camel, and the hare, and the coney. For they chew the cud, but divide not the hoof. Therefore, they are unclean to you. And the swine, because it divideth the hoof, yet cheweth not the cud, it is unclean to you. Ye, y'all shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. These ye, y'all shall eat of all that are in the waters. All that have fins and scales shall ye eat. And whatsoever hath not fins and scales y'all may not eat. It is unclean to you. Of all clean birds y'all shall eat. But these are they, of which y'all shall not eat: the eagle, and the ossifrage, and the osprey, and the glade, and the kite, and the vulture after his kind, and every raven after his kind, and the owl, and the nighthawk, and the cuckoo, and the hawk after his kind, the little owl, and the great owl, and the swan, and the pelican, and the gyre eagle, and the cormorant, and the stork, and the heron after her kind, and the lapwing, and the bat, and every creeping thing that flieth is unclean to you. They shall not be eaten. But of all clean fowls y'all may eat. Y'all shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it to the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it. Or thou mayest sell it to an alien, for thou art an holy people, a set apart people, la Yahuwah Eloheka, to Jehovah the I Elohim. Thou shalt not seize a kid in his mother's milk. And here, Shema, give ear. Here for the Hamishi Aliyah. Here for the fifth reading, the fifth Aliyah, the fifth offering up for this Shabbat Re'eh, Sabbath, behold. Here picking up with fifth book of Moses, Hebrew book called Deuteronomy chapter 14. Here at verse 22. Aser et kol te buat zareka hayotzea hasadeh shana. Thou shalt truly tithe all the increase of thy seed. Aser et kol te buata zareka. That the field bringeth forth year by year. Hayotzea hasadeh shana. And thou shalt eat lifnei Yahuwah Eloheka, before Jehovah the I Elohim, in the place, the makom, which he shall choose to place Shemo, his name, there. The tithe of thy corn, and of thy wine, and of thine oil, and the firstlings of thy herds, and of thy flocks, that thou mayest learn to fear, to reverence, to respect Yahuwah Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, always. And if the way be too long for thee, so that thou art not able to carry it, or if the place be too far from thee, which Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, shall choose to set Shemo, his name, there, when Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, hath blessed thee, then shalt thou turn it into money, and bind up the money in thine hand, and shalt go to the place, the makom, which Yahuwah Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, shall choose. And thou shalt bestow that money for whatsoever thy soul lusteth after, for oxen, or for sheep, or for wine, or for strong drink, or for whatsoever thy soul, thy nefesh, thy psyche desireth. And thou shalt eat there, lifnei Yahuwah Eloheka, before Jehovah the I Elohim. And thou shalt rejoice, thou and thine household, and Halewi, and the Levite that is within thy gates. Thou shalt not forsake him, for he hath no part nor inheritance with thee. At the end of 3 years, thou shalt bring forth all the tithe of thine increase the same year, and shalt lay it up within thy gates. And Halewi, the Levite, because he hath no part nor inheritance with thee, and the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow, which are within thy gates, shall come and shall eat and be satisfied, that Yahuwah Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, may bless thee in all the work of thine hand, thine yad, which thou doest.
Yes, King, which thou doest. Couple of interesting points right here, which says to remember the Lewi, the Levite, right? And then also on where one would turn the tithe into money. But if you listen and you read that carefully, this is what ones and ones, when they went to the feast, the festival, the 3 times in a year, what they would, there's a tithe that actually one would eat in the holy city when they bring, you could say, their family and ones within their circle, their cipher, the one who has the land, right, would save up those tithes. And if it's too far, he would turn it into money, and then when he gets there, for him, his family, and of course, don't forget the Lewi, the Levite, then they would buy whatever they desired to eat right there. That's the tithe that you were saving, that 10th, for you and your mishpacha, the family circle, those who was in your gates, that could trod and were desirous to trod. But don't forget the Lewi, don't forget the Levite. So that's an interesting area right there where it speaks about money. Because when we say that the tithe is not money, the only place it says turn it into money, or like silver, or, the precious metal silver, or, usually silver, which is a kesef, the money, was for that tithe when one would be trotting to the feast, the festivals, and the shalosh regalim, and you could say bringing their family, and one's within their, you could say, circle, on their land, within their compound, like in the African Nollywood movies, their compound, like their house, like a compound, they have servants, others, family, but also don't forget the Levite. Just a very interesting reasoning, right there, where the only place where the tithe is turned into money is basically for you and your family. This is something that in some of the, pseudo so-called Christians and the pastors that use that, they never really tell you that. Instead of giving them the tithe, you keep the tithe, and if it's too far to bring, the cattle, the oxen, the grain, so forth and so on, then you turn that into money. You bring your family, not forgetting the Levite, and you buy whatever is desired, and you feast, and you celebrate, and you rejoice during those 3 times of the year, the Shalosh Regalim. So one of the tithes was actually for yourself. Yes, it was more than one time. Pick up on that as we move forward right here. That was the 4th and 5th. We got the 6th and 7th aliyot right
Are
here.
ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, O children of Israel?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad.
Hear, Shema Yisrael. Hear, give ear, O Yisrael. Hear, O Yisrael. Hear for the Sheishi Aliyah, for the 6th Aliyah, the 6th reading, the 6th up offering here for this Shabbat Re'eh. 5th book of Moses, Hebrew book called Deuteronomy chapter 15, the Sabbatic year, and Shema Yisrael. Hear for the Sheishi Aliyah, for this Shabbat Re'eh, Sabbath, behold. Here. Mik'etz Shabbat Shanim Ta'iseh Shemitah. At the end of every 7 years, thou shalt make a release. Mik'etz Shabbat Shanim Ta'iseh Shemitah. And this is the manner of the Shemitah release. Every creditor that lendeth aught to his neighbor shall release it. He shall not exact it of his neighbor or of his brother, because it is called Jehovah's release. Shemitah la Yahuwah. Of a foreigner thou mayest exact it again. But that which is thine with thy brother, Achika, Wendemith, thine hand shall release, save except when there shall be no poor among you. For Jehovah shall greatly bless thee in the land which Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah the Elohim giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, to possess her. Only if thou carefully hearken to the voice of Yahweh Eloheka, to the voice of Jehovah the Elohim, to observe, to do all these commandments which I command thee this day. Ki Yahweh Eloheka, for Jehovah the Elohim blesseth thee, as he promised thee. Thou shalt lend to many nations, many goyim, many nationalities, but thou shalt not borrow. And thou shalt reign over many goyim, many nations, nationalities, but they shall not reign over thee. If there be among you a poor man of one of thy brethren within any of thy gates in thy land, which Yahweh Eloheka Jehovah the I Elohim giveth thee I. Thou shalt not harden thine heart, nor shut thine hand, thy yad, from thy poor brother, but thou shalt open thine hand wide to him, and shalt surely lend him sufficient for his need in that which he wanteth. Beware that there be not a thought in thy wicked heart, in thy ratchet heart, saying, the 7th year, the year of release, is at hand, and thine eye be evil against thy poor brother, and thou givest him naught. And he cried like Yahweh to Jehovah against thee, and it be sin, chatiat, akri, to thee, thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest to him, because that for this thing, Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah, the I Elohim shall bless thee, in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thine hand to, thy yad to. For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command thee, saying, thou shalt open thine hand, thy yad, wide to Achika, thy brother, Wendemih, thy brother, to thy poor and to thy needy in thy land. And if Achika, thy brother, Wendemih, an Hebrew man or an Hebrew woman be sold to thee, and serve thee 6 years, then in the 7th year thou shalt let him go free from thee. And when thou sendest him out free from thee, thou shalt not let him go away empty. Thou shalt furnish him liberally out of thy flock, and out of thy floor, and out of thy winepress, of that wherewith Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, hath blessed thee, thou shalt give to him. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in the land of Mitzrayim, in the land of Kemet, in the land of Egypt. And Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, redeemed thee. Therefore I command thee this thing today, the perpetual servant. Verse 16. And it shall be, if he say to thee, I will not go away from thee, because he loveth thee, and thine house, Beitika, the Beit, because he is well with thee, then thou shalt take an awl and thrust it through his ear to the door, and he shall be thy servant forever. And also to thy maidservant thou shalt do likewise. It shall not seem hard to thee when thou sendest him away free from thee, for he hath been worth a double hired servant to thee. In serving thee 6 years, and Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, shall bless thee in all that thou doest.
Yes. Interesting. In the covenant, our giving. Also notice another thing that sometimes people miss. It says that, there'll be no usury, charging interest on lending of money, to one another as Beit Yisrael, the Beit Yisrael, but that doesn't apply to the other nations. And during the year of the Shemitah year, the Sabbatical year, the year of release, we release these debts with one another. What a very blessed and prosperous economy that would be right there. Some things to explore right here, the seventh. We have the 7th Aliyah right here, for this Torah reading and feeding, for Shabbat, for Parashat Re'eh, Shema.
Are ye not as children of the Ethiopians unto me, O children of Israel, O children of Israel?
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Elohenu, Adonai Echad.
And here, the Shavi, Shabi, E. Here, the
And
seventh aliyah Shema.
Shema, Israel, hear, O Israel, 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 Israel. Here, for the Shabi'i aliyah, for the seventh aliyah, the seventh reading, the seventh offering up for this Shabbat Re'eh. Here, picking up the fifth book of Moses, the Hebrew book that is called Deuteronomy chapter 15, here at verse 19 for the Shabi'i aliyah, for the seventh aliyah, the seventh reading, the seventh offering here for this Shabbat Re'eh. Kol ha-b'kora asher yiwaleda bibat arka uwa be'ezonaka ha-zakara ha-kadisha la-Yahuwah Eloheka lo ta'ebora bi-b'kora shoreka lo ha-goza b'kora zoneka. Here for the Shabi'i, for the seventh aliyah. All the firstling males that come of thy herd and of thy flock, thou shalt sanctify la Yahuwah Eloheka, to Jehovah the I Elohim. Thou shalt do no work with the firstling of thy bullock, nor shear the firstling of thy sheep. Thou shalt eat it, lifnei Yahuwah Eloheka, before Jehovah the I Elohim. Shana, year by year, in the makom, hamakom, the place which Yahuwah, Jehovah, shall choose, thou and thy household. And if there be any blemish therein, as if it be lame or blind or have any ill blemish, thou shalt not sacrifice it la Yahuwah Eloheka, to Jehovah the I Elohim. Thou shalt eat it within thy gates. The unclean and the clean person shall eat it alike, as the roebuck and as the hart. Only thou shalt not eat the blood, hadam, thereof. Thou shalt pour it upon the ground as water. And here, fifth book of Moses, Hebrew book called Deuteronomy chapter 16, the Passover, ha-Pesach. Observe the month, the moon of Abib, and keep ha-Pesach, the Fasika, the Passover, la Yahuwah Eloheka, to Jehovah the I Elohim. For in the month, the moon of Abib, Yahuwah Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, brought thee forth Mitzrayim, out of Kemet, out of Egypt, out of Mitzrayim by night. Thou shalt therefore sacrifice ha-Pesach, the Passover, la Yahuwah Eloheka, to Jehovah the I Elohim, of the flock and the herd, in the place hamakom, which Yahuwah, Jehovah, shall choose to place Shemo, Sham, his name there. Thou shalt eat no leavened bread with it. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread therewith, even the bread of affliction. For thou camest forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the land of Kemet, out of the land of Egypt in haste, that thou mayest remember the day when thou camest forth out of the land of Mitzrayim, all the days of thy life. And there shall be no leavened bread seen with thee in all thy coasts 7 days, neither shalt there anything of the flesh which thou sacrificest the first day at evening remain all night until the morning. Thou mayest not sacrifice ha-Pesach, the Passover, the Fasika, within any of thy gates, which Yahuwah Eloheka, Jehovah, the I Elohim, giveth thee. But at hamakom, the place which Yahuwah Eloheka, Jehovah, the I Elohim, shall choose to place Shemo, his name, in. There thou shalt sacrifice ha-Pesach, the Passover, the Fasika, at evening, at the going down of the sun, at the season that thou camest forth, Mitzrayim, out of Kemet, out of Egypt. And thou shalt roast and eat it in hamakom, in the place which Yahuwah Eloheka, Jehovah, the I Elohim, shall choose. And thou shalt turn in the morning and go to thy tents. 6 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread. And on the seventh day shall be a solemn assembly, la Yahweh Eloheka, to Jehovah, the I Elohim, true good, true God. Thou shalt do no work therein. The Feast of Weeks, verse 9. 7 weeks shalt thou number to thee. Begin to number the 7 weeks from such time as thou beginnest to put the sickle to the corn. And thou shalt keep the Feast of Weeks, la Yahweh Eloheka, to Jehovah the I Elohim, true good, true God, with a tribute of a free will offering of thine hand, of thy yad, which thou shalt give to Yahweh Eloheka, according as Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, hath blessed thee. And thou shalt rejoice lifnei Yahweh Eloheka, before Jehovah the I Elohim, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and Halewi and the Levite that is within thy gates, and the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are among you in Hamakom, in the place which Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, have chosen to place Shemo, his name, Sham, there. And thou shalt remember that thou wast a bondman in Mitzrayim, in Kemet, in Egypt. And thou shalt observe and do these statutes. And hear the maftir. And here we have the maftir for this Shabbat Re'eh, here at verse 13, corresponding with the reading for the Feast of Tabernacles, here for the maftir. Chag ha Sukkota ta'isel leka, shib'ata yamima be'asiteka, miyagar neka, uwa miyayika beka. Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. Chag ha Sukkota ta'isel leka, shib'ata yamim. After that thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine. Be asiteka miya garnika uwa miya yika beka. And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son and thy daughter and thy manservant and thy maidservant and Halewi, the Levite, the stranger and the fatherless and the widow that are within thy gates. 7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast, la Yahweh Eloheka, to Jehovah the I Elohim, in Hamakom, in the place which Yahweh, Jehovah, shall choose, because Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah the I Elohim, true good, true God, shall bless thee in all thine increase and in all the works of thine hands. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice. The gift of males, here, verse 16. 3 times in a year, Shana, shall all thy males appear, Lifnei Yahweh Eloheka, before Jehovah the I Elohim, true good, true God, in Hamakom, in the place which he shall choose, in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and in the Feast of Weeks, and in the Feast of Tabernacles. And they shall not appear, Lifnei Yahweh, before Jehovah empty. Every man shall give as he is able, according to the blessing, the baraka of Yahweh Eloheka, of Jehovah the I Elohim, true good, true God, which he hath given thee. And here, completing the Torah readings for this Shabbat Re'eh. Kavur lek'alu, kavur dinsu, kavur lahaylu, glory be to the word, glory be to the sound, glory be to the power. Kavur le'abinu, le'melkeinu, glory be to Einai Father, Einai King. Kavur le'kedamawi, Haile Selassie, glory be to the first power of the Trinity. Be'shem Yeshua HaMoshiach. Be Getachina, be Medhanetachin, be Jesus Christos Sim. Amen. Stay tuned for the Haftarah and the Brit Hadash Aliyot.
Yes. Prophets reading coming forward. Here, the blessing after the reading of the Torah. Here, Shema Yisrael.
Baruch atah Yahweh, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, vayei olam natei, vatokanu. Baruch atah Yahweh, Notein HaTorah, Sheila.
Yes. So the Shabbat, Aniyah So'ara, Sabbath of comfort to she who is afflicted and storm-tossed, speaking about the soul of Yahweh's people. Here, speaking to Zion and Jerusalem, right here. Here, the Haftarah coming forward.
Stay tuned for the Haftarah and the Brit Hadash Aliyot.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nebiim tobim v'ratzah b'debreihem hane'amarim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'Moshe abdo u'be'Israel ammo u'b'nebiei ha'emet wa'tzedek. Blessed art thou, Adonai, Eloheinu, eternal King, who has chosen good prophets and was pleased with their words that were uttered with truth. Blessed art thou, Adonai, who chooses the Torah and Moses, his servant, and Israel, his people, and the prophets of truth and righteousness.
Hear, O Israel. Hear, O Israel, what does
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 11 to 55. O thou afflicted, tossed with tempest, and not comforted, behold, I will lay thy stones with fair colors, and lay thy foundations with sapphire. And I will make thy windows a gate, and thy gates of marble, and all thy borders of pleasant stone. And all thy children shall be taught of Yahweh, and great shall be the peace of thy children. In righteousness shalt thou be established. Thou shalt be far from oppression, for thou shalt not fear, and from terror, for it shall not come near thee. Behold, they shall surely gather together, but not by me. And whosoever shall gather together against thee shall fall for thy sake. Behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I have created the waster to destroy. No weapon that is formed against thee shall prosper, and every tongue that shall rise against thee in judgment thou shalt condemn. This is the heritage of the servants of Yahweh, and their righteousness is of me, saith Yahweh. Chapter 55, verse 1. Ho, everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the water, and he that hath no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come, buy wine and milk without money and without price. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently to me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear, and come to me. Hear, Shema, and your soul shall live. And I will make an everlasting covenant with you, even the sure mercies of David. Behold, I have given him for a witness to the people, a leader and commander to the people. Behold, thou shalt call a nation that thou knowest not, and nations that knew not thee shall run to thee because of Yahweh, that Elohim Baruch. And for the Holy One, Kedusan de Israel, the Holy One of Israel, for he hath glorified thee. Amen. Glory to him, word, sound, and power. King of Kings, Kedamari, Haile Selassie, Jah Rastafari, the Almighty.
Study to show thyself approved, study to show thyself approved, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, 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 word of truth.
So right here, that's from the Haftarah, the prophets reading Yeshaya, Sabbath of comfort, these Shabuahs leading up to the Sukkot time, the fall festival time, but here for the Brit Chadasha, the New Covenant reading for this Shabbat, Parashat Re'eh.
Stay tuned for the Haftarah and the Brit Chadasha, Aliyot.
Here, the Baraka, the word of blessing here. The reading of scripts here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher natan lanu Moshiach Yeshua ve'habarot shel habarit ha-hadasha. Baruch atah Adonai notain habarit ha-hadasha. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who gave to us the Messiah, Jesus, and the commandments of the new covenant. Blessed are you, Lord, giver of the new covenant.
Hear, O Israel. Hear, O Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
The Brit Chadasha Chadis Kidan reading for RSS number 47, Re'eh, C. From the Gospel of John, chapter 7, verse 37 through 52. We begin B'Shem Ha'ab, Ha'Bein, Ruach HaKadosh, Yahweh Ahad. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, He who be, who He be, the One. John, chapter 7. The great prophecy concerning the Holy Spirit for power. Verse 37, Lamed Zain. Verse 38, Lamed Chet. Verse 39, Lamed Tet. Waihi Bayom Ha'acharon Hagadol Bechag Wayamod Yeshua Wayikra Hui Kol Sameya Leku Elai Ushtu Ha'ma'amin Bi Kibar HaKatuv Mikerpo Yizlu Nachale Ma'im Chayim Kazot Deber Al HaRuach Asher Tanach Al HaMa'aminin Bo Ki od lo nishfach ruach hakodesh beterem lukach Yeshua achar kabod. In the last day, the great day of the feast, Yeshua, Jesus, stood and cried, saying, If any man thirst, let him come to me and drink. He that believeth in me, as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. But this spake he of the Spirit, that they who believe in him should receive. For the Holy Spirit was not yet given, because that Yeshua was not yet glorified. The people divided in opinion. Many of the people, therefore, when they heard the saying, said, Of a truth, this is the prophet. Others said, This is HaMashiach. This is the Christ. But some said, Shall Mashiach come out of Galilee? Hath not the scripture said that Mashiach cometh of the seed of David, and out of the town of Bethlehem, where David was? So there was a division among the people because of him. And some of them would have taken him, but no man laid hands on him. Then came the officers to the chief priests and Pharisees, and they said to them, Why have ye not brought him? And the officers answered, Never man spake like this man. Then answered them the Pharisees, Are ye also deceived? Have any of the rulers of the Pharisees believed in him? But this people, who knoweth not the law, are cursed. Nicodemus saith to them, He that cameth to Yeshua by night, being one of them, does our law judge any man before it hear him and know what he doeth? They answered and said to him, Art thou also of Galilee? Search and look, for out of Galilee arises no prophet. Kabor Lakalu, Kabor Ladimtu, Kabor Lachailu, Kabor Lakedamawi, Haile Selassie, Beyesus Christos Sim. Glory to word, glory to sound, glory to power, glory to Abinu, Melkenu, our Father, our King, the first power of the Trinity, in the name of Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus Christ. Yes, I, Rastafari.
We have fulfilled all. Praise be to Mesken, Xavier Mesken, Jesus Christos, Jesus Christos, Jesus Christos, Jesus Christos, Jesus Christos. Yes. Very interesting reading right there from the Brit Chadasha, New Covenant reading. It's kind of interesting because they were rejecting some of the people accepted Yeshua HaNotri, Jesus of Nazareth, as Moshiach. Others, they denied or they didn't accept, and their reasoning is interesting because, well, wasn't he supposed to be born over here and not over there? He's from Galilee. There's seems to be some kind of like a little clickism, like he's not born over here, but he's born over there. But here's the interesting thing. Actually, wasn't he born there? See, where they found him here, but he actually was born over there. It's a really interesting reasoning. Hopefully we can have time to unpack. But here, first day service, and the psalm for the first day. We have Psalm 24, the evening psalm for the first day. Here, I'd like to share this tune, Queen Makeda with Clean Hands, based on Psalm 24. Right, based on Psalm 24, with an emphasis on the, verse 3, verse 4, Niki Kapayim, clean hands, ubar lebab, and a pure heart or a purified heart. So right here, first day, Shabbat Tov, a good strong 7 days to come. Psalm 24 here, the Ivrit, here the Hebrew, Queen Makeda.
Belong the earth and all fullness. He made the world and all Adam ve'al nicharot yichoneneha miya'alei behar Neharya hey Niki kapayim uvar levav Niki kapayim uvar levav You have clean hands and a pure heart hey You have clean hands and a pure heart Who can ascend to his holy mountain? Who can stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart Who can ascend to his holy mountain? Who can stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart Niki kapayim uvar levav Niki kapayim uvar levav You have clean hands and a pure heart hey You have clean hands and a pure heart Who can ascend to his holy mountain? Who can stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart Who can ascend to his holy mountain? Who can stand in his holy place? He who has clean hands and a pure heart
Yes. Psalm 24, a hymn of greetings. And what's in there is like qualifications. Like Psalm 16, have qualifications for access and entry into his presence. And one of the main things is clean hands, the hands being symbol of work, and the heart being the intent. May Yahweh bless the eye, keep the eye, cause his face, his grace to shine on and in the eye, and give the eye Yeshua Shalom.
God bless you. We find your peace out in the provable. God bless you for coming to the show tonight. God bless your day. God bless you. 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 God bless you.
Yes. Clean hands. So if your hands are dirty, what would you do? If you can wash your hands. Right? And therefore, if your heart, purify your heart, purify your intent. Right here for the first day, like this tune here, classic tune. Going with the theme of the evening psalm for the first day, Psalm 24. Since it's a regular chant, it's amazing that, every Shabua, as you rise up to chant, there's always a baraka. There's always like a gift. You hear something, not so much different, but there's even this application, to this right here, cleaning our hands, our works, and purifying our hearts. Here's Johnny Osborne, purify your heart. You're going to church on Sunday. Listen to Relix. Here.
You're going to church on Sunday. There's no love in your heart on Monday. You're trying to show me that Sunday. There's no love in your heart on Monday. You're trying to show me that you know yourself. You better purify your heart, then you know yourself. You better purify your heart, then you know yourself. But don't bet that it's your time, I'm telling you. A fool says in his heart there's no God. But if that's your belief, my friend, it's too sad. But now you're trying to tell me that you know yourself. You got to purify your heart, then you know yourself. You better purify your heart, then you know yourself. Don't mess my brethren, 'cause you know that the truth I'm not telling. But a fool says in his heart of hearts there's no God. But if that's your belief, my
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, choosing to see. There's a whole lot going on here in this Torah reading and feeding. You know, we have some of the Q&As, the question and answers for this Shabbat. Re'eh. Previously, as you can see on the Stephen Marley album cover, wanted to like kind of annotate it, what those letters there. That's Ra, E, yeah, Ra'i. Ra'i is like vision in the world of heart, coming from like the good is Re'eh, to see, right? Similar with the Ivrit, with the Hebrew. So we have this Torah reading and feeding that has to do with seeing, right? And choosing to see. But here, let's see if we can do this like this. We're using the Sepharia right here. That was on the previous psalm. Let me see if we can get out of here and kind of navigate around here. Let's see if we can. We're just using this one, right? Okay, the Tanakh, the writings. Let's click on that. Let's see. Yeah, the software here. It's a pretty good software. We're still like learning it right here. This particular software. We're trying to get back to the main page. Okay, the Tanakh. As you can see this right here. So here in Psalms. It's called Sepharia. Sepharia software, Sepharia. It's a pretty good software. Okay, I passed over. Well, actually, it's in the writings. So how the scriptures are arranged, like there's like the Torah. You can see right here, there's the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, the Torah, right? Direction, instruction. Then you have the Navim. Some say Navim. Ancient pointing Nabim, the prophets, the Nabias, right? And then, interesting, the books that are included in the prophets right there. You just have the prophets, 1st, 2nd Kings, and Samuel. Then you have the Ketubim. The Ketubim, in translation, are the writings, the Ketubim. So that's like kind of the arrangement, the books that are considered like the writings, you know, right there. And then the Targum, the Aramaic and the different ancient. Targum is a word like them, hard Turgum, like to interpret, like the interpretation. So much of the some older works, since Aramaic was a language, it was like, it's something we say, Ge'ez and Amharic on a certain level, kind of a relation there, right? We have the Hebrew of the Bible, more correctly, the Yehudit. In other words, the Judean. What's called in translation the Jews' language, right? Judean language. Okay, why did I go back there again? Okay, I'm here seeking to go to coming out the Psalms and going to this Torah reading and feeding to bring forth this reasonment right here. Okay, how do we get to the numbering? Right here? Okay, Deuteronomy. Just walk with me for a moment. Okay, I get it. I got it right here. I think it's is it right there? Oh, up top. There we go. Chapter 11. You know, sometimes you think you know, and then you recognize how much you can learn. Chapter 11, verse 26. Verse 26 for this Torah reading and feeding. Verse 11, okay, the verse on the opposite side. Okay, verse 26. You see what it has right here? So it has it divided. It reminds me of some of the actual scrolls, like hard copies. The Chumash, which has like the 5 books of Moses, as well as the prophets, divided into their weekly portions. And this software, Sepharia, I think it's a great software because you guys can download a lot of the archive, the books and everything. And I think you can use it, you know, like offline. So if you have a phone, you can download some apps and, you know, it doesn't have to like be online, but you can use the phone as like a computer. You know what I'm saying? So right here, we have this re'eh. You see the re'eh right there? Can make it a little larger, but hopefully you can see it at the top, re'eh. And this is this word right here, right? That's that word, re'eh, anoki, notain lifnekem, hayom baraka, u'kalala, baraka, u'kalala, baraka, u'kalala, baraka, u'kalala. A blessing and a curse. Now, it's interesting because in this line right here, it actually says, it doesn't say a blessing, you know, give thanks. I and Brother Rasimo, we had a reason on this. He said, of course, not just you don't want a blessing, you want the blessing. But now notice this right here. As we go to the next verse, let's see if we can click this off. You know how we get out of this, touch this. Okay, there we go right there. You see the next line, verse 27. In the King James, it's like a King James orientated translation of Safaria. You see where it says blessing if you obey the commandment. But if you look at this word right here in the Hebrew, that word which is defined right there, that is ha-baraka. Ha-baraka, right? Ha-baraka, the blessing, ha-baraka, right? You see, they bring it down right there, baraka, right? Baracha, baraka, right? Which is blessing, or as defined from study, the empowerment. It's like an empowerment to prosper. As the kalala, the curse, is a consequence, and even the word for curse. Let's see if we can do this right here. The word for curse, right? Take it off of there. Go down to the next line, verse 28. We have where it says kalala, the kalala. A curse, it says vilification, execration. Now here you see the word kalala, curse, at the bottom right there. Right. Now I'm still testing this out. This has some benefits. This Safaria free software, and they have like these modules that are like the books, the different books, different. You could get a whole library in a sense on your phone. And like we said, we think it works like when you're not online, so forth and so on. So we're just kind of showing this right here. But Kalala doesn't. They use BDB. They use the Browns driver's bricks. Here, let's do this right here before we get into the subject matter. This was the last subject matter we touched on, but here, let's bring into this verse right here, Deuteronomy 11 and 26. So this software you see right here, this is my sword, right? Also a very good software that you can use like offline. So theoretically, if you have some softwares on your phone, study software that have books, you know, that you don't have to depend on being on the website or online. Theoretically, these books these computers, these phones can be as like a kind of a digital book, if you get me. But here's the key verse here with the Strong's hyperlink words and everything, the Strong's blue letter. That's what the blue letter really means. It's a website blue letter Bible, but these are the blue letters, strong blue letters. When it says, behold, we have the word re'eh, re'eh, re'ah, re'ah, and re'eh, re'ah, re'ah. Different than ra'ah, ra'ah. It's all about which Hebrew letter. There's aleph, which is like a softer A sound. Some say it's silent. It's not really silent. It's just a softer sound. And then there's ayin, which are more guttural, a guttural sound. Just a little FYI, right? A little FYI when we speak about the hard and the soft sounds. When we say Gaza in the Hebrew and Afro-Shemitic, it doesn't begin for G. It begins with an ayin. So it would sound like by a full speaker, Alza, 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 Alza. It's a deep kind of a sound, Alza. It's really Aza instead of Gaza, but the A is so hard that in other languages, some people, they add like a G to it. So it's like Gomorrah has the same ayin. So it's not really Gomorrah, it's really Amora, right? Like Amora, Gomorrah, Gomorrah, Amora, Gomorrah. A little interesting nuance right there, but some might notice this word, like in the transliteration, is similar to the word for evil. But the difference is this is Ra'ah, Ra'ah, and the other is Ra'ah, Ra'ah, Ra'ah. Like it's Ra'ah, Ra'ah. That little difference there. But here, building this up for this reason and here on choosing to, the choice factor, choosing to see. Hopefully we can touch on the 62 questions. Some very good questions. We've gone over it before. We're looking at the time right here. Let's get this choosing to see since we gave an intro earlier on. Let's do this right here. Let's break it down so we can go from KJV to some of the other scripts right here. So this is it right here. Here we go right here. So you see it at the top. Re'eh, 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 re'eh. Re'eh anoki notena lifnechem or lifnekem hayom baracha or baraka ukalala. Behold or see, literally see. So what about this choice factor? What does it mean choosing to see? Once again, I'd like to hail John J. Parsons, Hebrew for Christians. That's also a kind of outsourced resource that we kind of recommend, the Hebrew for Christians right there. We had the reasonment, further thoughts on the Parsha Re, choosing to see, right? Notice in the KJV, it says, behold. Now, let's do this right here so you can see this for yourself. We're going to go slow. Maybe we won't get through everything, but at least what we get through, people can have a good foundation on it right here. All right. Hold on for a moment. Are we still connected? Okay, yeah, excuse me, the little phone stand right there. Okay, here we go. Let's go behold. Let's go behold. Behold. B-E, well, what's that being typed? B-E-H-O-L-D. Right? B-E-H-O-L-D. Okay, clear that. Come again. You see behold right there? The first place we have behold in the scripture, according to translators, is Bereshit or Genesis 1:29. What word is it? Take note, fellow Talmudim, fellow disciples. Take note, the H2009. This word is hine. You see what I'm saying? Hine. Hine means like behold, look, see. It has a sense of like here it is, like lo. Also in translation, lo. Lo is like a short for look. Hain. It's like look here. Hain. Where is it? Hain. Look, here it is. Hain. Like a surprise. Like, wow, here it is. But it has a sense, hine has a sense of here, like here it is. Now what's interesting, I can't go back up there because hine appears so many times, but over here, as let's actually get out of this right here. Let me go to this verse right here. So the word behold, right, is hine. But then something interesting up here when we get to Deuteronomy 11, according just to the KJV, from low degrees to high degrees, 11:26, the key verse, right? You see the behold there? It's not the H2009, it's the H7200. So although I still say the KJV structurally has a lot of things that we can utilize as a point of reference. When we come across these kind of exceptions for all these good points, it's these exceptions that can cause some confusion. So this is not the behold of, look, here it is. Like I'm showing you some hine, look, here it is. This is re, see. And it's see in the singular sense. So let's carry on with some of these further thoughts right here. And for the placeholder for right now, we'll use this, the eye, because this is what it's saying, like see with the eye, right? That behold sense can mean like hine, like behold this point, right? Or behold something, but it's not saying to see. And this Torah reading and feeding is literally saying see, right? Re. What do we have right here? Re. I see Anoki notain lifnechem hayom baraka ukalala. See, seen, sight, re'eh. I give before you. KJV says, I set before you today a baraka, right? Or baraka and kalala, a blessing and a curse. So you see the KJV says a blessing. It doesn't have the definite article here, but what's interesting is that when we get to verse 27, I won't point this out when one is reading the English and are not strong in the Hebrew. In verse 26, it says blessing and curse, no definite article. But when we get to verse 27 in the Hebrew, it says ha baraka, right? And then as we go to verse 28, it doesn't say a curse, it says ha kalala. Just take note right there. But still on this verse, key verse, see, re'eh, I give before you, I set before your faces, your presence, your perspective, right? Today, hayom, baraka ukalala, Deuteronomy 11:26. Note that the Hebrew word re'eh, when we look at the word re'eh, it is singular. It means you, male, right? If I'm seeing the female, but here for a man, re'eh, you male see. This is why we say that speaking to all of Yisrael, this is found throughout the Hebrew scripture, even the Shema. The Shema is like speaking to one man. So Yisrael is all being spoken to as one man, That kind of foreshadows that Brit Chadash, that new covenant sense that we are members of the body, and Moshiach is our Rosh, he is our head, our Ras, right? He's our head. Re'eh is singular, you male, speaking to Yisrael, as he says, as his son. Bini, Bini, his son. Whereas the following pronoun, right? The following pronoun, Lifnei Kem. Lifnei Kem, before y'all, the Kem signifies you all, right? You all, Lifnei Kem. And using that sense, Lifnei Kem is usually speaking to many males together. It was Lifnei Ken, speaking to many females. So here, it goes from the singular to the plural. Goes from Re'eh, right? Re'eh. As we mentioned before, Reuben's name was named that way because Leah, like Leah, she said, Reuben. She was like, see y'all, Reuben, see a son. So his name was Reuben. Like all of y'all see, Reu, speaking to you all. But this here is saying Re'eh, see, as one, right? But he's setting, right? Anoki notain lifnechem, I'm setting before you all. There's the plural, so the singular and the plural. So what does it mean, Chabarim? That each person is to personally see. As we meditate on that, we see these nuances even in the Ivrit, right? Even in the Hebrew. As we see these nuances in the Hebrew, we begin to ask questions. Well, why is it written? Right? Why is it written that way? Why doesn't it say Reu? Y'all, all of y'all see. It seems like it'd be more consistent, right? Reu anoki noten lefnechem hayom brako kalala. And so see you as one, right? I set before all of your faces. Literally in the Hebrew, lifnei kem, right, is before all of your faces, right? It can be translated as before you all, or it can be literally like before your face. So what does it mean? Each of I and I, each person to personally see, seen, sight, that ha baraka, the blessing, and ha kalala will affect, right, our lives and liberty, and also others in our life and liberty. This, in a traditional study of this, has been understood or overstood to mean that Yahweh Eloheinu, that he who be, the Almighty, our Almighty power, our Elohim, gives each of us, each of I and I, ani wa ani wa ani va ani, each of I and I, the path of goodness, that which is good, right? That leads to baraka, blessing, the empowerment to prosper. And there's a path of wickedness, of ratchetness, and that leads to kalala, the vilification, the execration, the curse, the consequence. Now, the singular form that's used, let me highlight this on the screen right here. That's the singular form that is used. Re'eh, to see, speaking to a male singular, is used to stress and emphasize the fact that although HaTorah, Yahweh's direction, instruction, is given to call to Yisrael and to all who have ears to hear, it is our personal responsibility, as Moshe will bring out furthermore in this study here, to choose life. Becharta b'chayim. Becharta b'chayim. To choose life or choose in living and walk. The walk in Hebrew, yalak or halak, to walk. Here's where we get the term halakha. Right? Yes, traditional Judaism have their qualification. What is the halakha? What is the walk? It's like when we say, well, people can talk it out, but can they walk it out? Right? So to choose life and to walk, to live out, to walk out its message, even the great message of salvation, right, out in our daily lives and liberty. Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19 has something interesting to say on this. It says, I call Shemayim, the heavens and the earth and the land, to witness against you, Hayom, today, that I have set before you life and death, Baraka and kalala, blessing and curse. Therefore, choose life, becharta b'chayim, that you and your offspring may live. So here's a connection between this Torah reading and feeding with the theme and Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 19, where Moshe says to the Bnei Yisrael, this new generation that's on the edge of the land, ready to enter in, right, that I call Shemayim, the heavens and the earth and the land, to witness against you this day. What? That I have set before you. Moshe has set before the Bnei Yisrael what? Life, Chayim, and Mavet, or Mawet, Mot, death. Baraka, blessing, empowerment to prosper, and Kalala, and curse. And he says, therefore, Becharta, Bechayim, choose Chayim, choose life, liberty, that you and your offspring may live. So the connection here in this reason. And so this is an either, or of the heart. Heart, right? And we know already from the scripts that the heart, right, being the center, right, as a word, we say the heart of the sea. Doesn't mean the sea has a heart as we have a heart, but that the heart is like the midst of the sea, to say the center of the sea. But for us, the heart is like the mind, the inner man. So it's the either, or of the heart. You say of the mind, the innermost of the innocent. And there is no place for compromise in the decision. What did Robein, Adonai, Yeshua Hanot, he said, make your yea be yea, Cain, your yea, or your nay, low, right? No compromise. Moreover, since your life and our life and liberty is part of the greater whole. So each of us know this, for each individual Israelite, right? It was speaking to each one, both individually and all together as one man. So our life is part of a greater whole, right? You and I must understand that every deed, every doing that we do, it brings to the world and into the world around us either a baraka, an empowerment to prosper and for good, or a kalala, a consequence for evil. To correct, right, the so-called to correct the world, right, we from a high Yehudi liberty, we live in the tikkun olam, tikkun olam, the tikkun olam, that correcting of the world. But first, we must do what? We must correct ourselves. This is the principle of Yeshua HaMoshiach Robeinu, right? You know, he says, you hypocrite, you hanif, you take the log out of your own eye first. First, take the log, that big log, out of your own eye, your own ayin, right? And then you will see clearly to take the speck out of your brother's ayin, his eye. So right there, that principle that we can see clearly is based on Torah and looking at the scriptures fully and even, as I want to say, wholly or holistically. And there's an undisputed maxim among the sages of the ancient teaching, right? We have in Berakot 33 and B and Nida 16 and B, this maxim here, right? Now, Talmud is an operative word that means teaching. That's why we say, give us the teaching of his majesty. We don't want no devil's philosophy. But this is a undisputed maxim of truth. Hear it and decide for yourself. All is in the hands of Elohim, of Yahweh Elohim, except the fear of heaven, or the Yirat Shamayim. Yirat Shamayim. What's the Yirat Shamayim? Is the reverence of the heavens. That's like to say, you know, a fear of God, right? A fear of Yahweh. That all is in the hands of Elohim except that reverence, right, of him, that reverence of Abinu Sheba Shamayim, of our Father who art in heaven. But note something here. The Hebrew word for seeing, re'ah, and the word for fearing, yareh, it shares the same root. So I could bring this out for you right here, you know, to compare side by side. So the word for seeing, re'ah, and the word for reverencing or fearing, the fear of the Lord, is yareh. Re'ah and yareh. right? It shares the same root. So we cannot genuinely choose life and liberty apart from personally seeing it, right? And we cannot see it, right, apart from encountering its truth or the reality of it, right? And when we say see, just so some would say, well, what about the person who can't see? Well, a blind person don't see with the eyes, but they do have sight. Check. It's not like our sight, but to whom more is given, more is required. So we, I and I, Anivani, must individually, in the indivisible dual sense, focus our minds and attend to the revelation of Yahweh Eloheinu. What do we mean by the revelation of Yahweh Eloheinu? What is meant by revelation? Let's bring this over here for the whole idea of seeing, re, to see, right? The revelation, the ra'i, right? The chazon. Both what is written, there's the written and there's the unwritten, right? There's that which is written in the testimony of the scripts, of scripture, and there is that which is not written, that is manifest, the manifest evidences that we have in creation, right? The reality about us. So we can see the fingerprint of Yahweh Eloheinu as we study the scripts, right? And we can see his fingerprint in creation. His fingerprint in creation. Some talk about the five, Fibonacci, the five. Those are testaments of his fingerprint, but there's the written and the unwritten, right? Let's check for the written and the unwritten. It reminds me of Psalm, I think it's Psalm 19, the two witnesses. That's a psalm on the two witnesses, right? There's the two kinds of witness, that which is written in Torah. The Torah is a witness, and the witness that we have in the nature and the Bria, right? The creation. The reverence, right? The reverence, that fear, that respect of Yahweh Eloheinu, it sanctifies our perception. What do we mean? That fear and truth, that reverence, that respect of Yahweh, of he who be Eloheinu, our creator, our judge, sanctifies, sets apart from everything else our perception. By extension, the Hebrew, our face, panim, fanim, lifnei, right? Our perception, our perspective, our perception, and it enables us, enables I and I to do what? To see clearly. So to see and to see clearly. Therefore, as 2 Corinthians 5:7, therefore the righteous, right, ha-sadiqim, the sadiqim, they walk by emunah, by credit, by admittance, by admitting as truth, and not by mare, which comes from re'eh, mare, by sight, by seeing. So when it says in 2 Corinthians 5:7, we walk by faith, by emunah, by trust, by credit, admitting as truth, and not by sight. Perhaps this is why the perpetual enemy of Yahweh Eloheinu, according to the scripture, is called Amalek. Amalek. Remember Amalek? Amalek. Right? Who is Amalek? And what does Amalek, his name, mean? It's a name that begins with Ein. Let's do this over here because no doubt we'll come back to this right here. Let's do this so we can one can see at least a point of reference. Amalek. Now, it's written for K, but in the Hebrew it's a Q. And the A is a hard A sound. All right? So let's bring up Amalek. In fact, which verse was it over there where that word was said? That word was sent right here. Yeah, let's see. Write this from Memorial. Yeah, there we go. Exodus 17:16. For he said, right, because Yahweh hath sworn, according to KJV, Yahweh war with Amalek from generation to generation. But the reading of it is a little different because the hand of Amalek, in the Hebrew, the hand of Amalek is against the throne of Yahweh. Therefore, is the Hebrew. Therefore, Yahweh, right, the hand upon the throne. So it's interesting here. It doesn't really come out in translation right there, but the name here is the Amalek. Remember who was Amalek, right? What we mean by the Ein, right, the hard A, we're talking about this letter right here. That letter right there, the Ain, Ain. In the older, the more picture form, it symbolizes an eye, right? Ain, Amalek, Amalek. You see the Q there? Dweller in the valley, Amalek, right? Some bring it out, right? Amalek was a descendant of Isa, also his posterity and their country. So the connection of Amalek, right? Amalek, right? This is who Amalek is. So scripts point out that a perpetual enemy of Yahweh Eloheinu is Amalek, right? A name that begins with Ain. The letter that's highlighted on the screen right there in the blue is the Ain, Ain. Ain, Ain, both in name, right? Ain means eye. And in the ancient writings, like the other more picture writing, it was a symbol of the eye. And it has a value according to the Hebrew science of numbers, right? Gematria. It has a numerical value of 240, right? 240. This is the same value for the Hebrew word Safek. Safek. Sapek? Sapek or Safek? What's Safek? Safek is the Hebrew word for doubt. They both have the same numerical value. Amalek, therefore, from this perspective, it would suggest the eye, the ain of doubt, or even Hebraically, the severed eye, the severed eye, the severed ain. That means if we take the ain off, you see what's highlighted, and just look at the other letters there, what do we have? We have malak, malak. What does malak mean in Hebrew? Malak in Hebrew means to chop, to sever. So we have the ain, that first letter there, symbolizing the eye. Ain, its name is ain, and ain in Hebrew is eye. And then we look at the other letters, the meme, the lamed, and the kof, and then that spells out the Hebrew word malak, malak, not malak for K sound, but malak, malak with the special K, that Q sound. It means to chop, to severe, in reference to the ain, the eye. So lack of credit, lack of faith, lack of admittance, right? Low credit, like lack of faith, is spiritual blindness. It's a spiritual blindness that makes it impossible to see the path of Baraka, the way of Baraka. Unlike the doubtful Amalek, right? We, I and I, are called to walk be'emuna, right? In emuna. What is emuna? Emuna is a Hebrew word for faith, or sometimes translated as belief. We find a better translation as credit, right? Admittance as truth, as faith has to do with truth, right? Admittance, like a credit rating, right? So we walk building up our credit rating, building up our faith, our emuna, right? With what is known as the Ain HaTova. Ain HaToba. Ain, the eye, HaToba. So this is a teaching here. It's called the good eye, based on the scripture, the good eye. The Ain, the eye, the Toba, Ain HaToba, or modern Hebrew, Ain HaTova, the good eye of trust, and trust based on truth, and therefore placing credit there. And we, and I, Anivani, must be unflinching in our devotion, our livocation to Ha-Emet, to the truth, right? To the truth, Chabarim, associates, friends. Regarding the rise of the false prophet, right? The false prophet in the Brit Chadasha scriptural sense, for example, we are told, right? We are told where? In Deuteronomy, let's go here for a moment. Deuteronomy, so we can have the script on screen. Script on screen. Here's a script on screen. Ye shall walk after, right? Here. Ye shall walk after Yahweh, your Elohim, and reverence him. Okay, there was the word, the Yareh. You see the Yareh there? Looking at this from a Hebrew perspective, Yareh, right? And Re'ah, to see, has the same root, right? To fear, to reverence. right? And reverence, respect him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and y'all shall serve him and cleave. Cleave to him mean dabak. Dabak, right? Dabak means cleave, like to stick, right? To stick to him, right? To cling to him, right? To cling, hold fast to him. So Yahuwah, right, your Elohim, right, is testing, right, is testing you, right, to know if you really love Yahuwah Eloheinu with all your heart and with all your soul, right here, right, with all your heart and with all your soul. Here, actually, in the Hebrew, it will be verse 4, but the KJV, this is verse 3, 13 and 3. Thou shalt not hearken to the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams. I have a dream. For Yahuwah, your Elohim, Elohim, your Elohim, Elohim, proveth you. The word proveth is nasa, nasa, right? Nasa is to test, NASA. See, that this will be made a better one than that Nasha business, because Nasha is to deceive. Nasa with a seen means to lift up, but Nasa here with a samek means to test, to try, to test. So what does it say right here? It says that Yahuwah, your Elohim, is testing you. Min naseh, Yahuwah Elohim. Min naseh, he is testing you, right? To know if you really love Yahuwah, your Elohim. With all your heart, right there, it says to know whether y'all love Yahuwah, your Elohim, with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your psyche. Deuteronomy chapter 13 in the KJV will be verse 4. Right? All who love Yahuwah will love Ha'emet, the truth, the reality, and also will take the time and also make the effort to clear away the confusion by doing what First John 4 and 1 says, testing the spirits, right? Testing the spirits. Now it's interesting. Let's just go here for a moment. The First John, right? First John here, the Brit Chadasha, First John 4 and 1. It says, beloved, believe, amen, right? Pisteu. This is the word for belief, for faith, to think to be true, to be persuaded of, to credit, to place confidence in, right? But don't trust, don't place confidence, don't credit every spirit. Don't give credit to every spirit, but do what? But try the spirits, whether they are of Elohim, because many false prophets are going out into the world, into the Sequora. Now, a lot of times when we read this verse, we read these verses in the scripture, and a lot of times when we read it, we start looking at the person next to us. How come we don't try the spirits in us, the spirits that come to us? You ever sitting down, a thought come to mind, where does this come from? Why am I thinking about that? That's a spirit. Try it. Test it. And if you try the spirit and the spirits that come to you, the spirits that you encounter in you and around you, you know what I mean? Instead of focusing a lot of times like that speck in the eye, worried about the log, right? Or rather the speck in the neighbor's eye, but not worried about that log. So even the testing of the spirits, we first apply this to ourselves. When I say we dance a yard before we dance abroad, charity begin at home before spreading abroad. Now, concerning the matter of testing, right, and see, we're taking this Torah reading and feeding and taking it from the Brit Chadasha to the principles, right, in the Torah, right, the principles in the Torah, right, from New Covenant to Old Covenant, these two witnesses. Concerning this matter of testing, right, of trying, right? Now, this is the Koine Greek, dokimazo, to scrutinize. This is from the Koine Greek, to dokimazo, to examine, prove, scrutinize, to see, to do what? Re'eh, to see whether a thing is genuine or not. For example, to try metals. This is 24 karat gold. Okay, hold on for a moment. I'm going to take it to my jeweler to test it. To recognize as genuine after what? Examination. To approve something, to deem it worthy. Just don't accept it, but test it. Test literally or figuratively. The implication of testing something is really to approve of it. Right? They say this is 24 karat gold. I tested this out. The test prove, okay, I can approve of it. And that there builds up my trust. So you bring me some more gold or whatever, I test it, and it's still good. So there might be a time that I might not test it. Maybe that's the time I get burned. But you know what? I will base that on the credit, right? That credit extended. While we know that we're not permitted to test Yahuwah, that's the only thing. Remember the Israelites? Yahuwah says they have tested me, right? Tested me and proved me these 10 times. Can we name the 10 times? These 10 times. So we're not permitted to nasa Yahuwah, right? According to Deuteronomy 16:16, Matthew 4:7, Acts 5:9. Here, let's bring out the proof of this right here. You know, this what means here a little, there a little. We just went there a little to get that point, right? Try and test that point. Let's right here 6 and 16. So when we're quoting out verses, many times we've gone there ourselves, you know, and it's good to go there. You might say, well, it's right there. It says it's over there. Well, check it out. Test it, right? Y'all shall not tempt, right? What's the word here? Nasa, right? To tempt, to test, to prove, right? Nasa, right? To attempt. Test, to attempt. Yahuwah Eloheikem. As y'all tempted, notice the same word, you nasad him, you tested him in the place called Masa. See, nasa is the verb to test, to try, right? In that sense, right? But masa is temptation. You see what it says temptation? Masa. You hear the sound? Nasa, and then we have masa, right? Masa. It's like a place name, a location name, but it's based masa right here. Remember the spear, test, approving, a trial, to put Yahuwah Eloheinu to trial, right? Like a judicial trial, right? Like when we test men, yeah, we'll test men, right? You know, as I said, judicially, but of Elohim, that's querulous, you're quarrelsome. That's what happened to the Israelites, the patriarch of that generation, and that's also one of the reasons why they did not enter in. So here we have this new generation. Let's go to Matthew right here, just so that we can verify, right? You know, verify the quotes right here. I could tell you, oh, it's over such and such. And you say, wow, you already know the Bible. How you know it? You didn't go check out the verses. Do you really know those verses? Matthew chapter 4:7 said, Jesus said to him, it is written again. Look what Yeshua is quoting. Right? He's teaching us something here. In the wilderness, the test, the tempting of Hasatan, right? He's teaching us that even I can overcome Hasatan by an intelligent use of the word. Yeshua said to him, the tempter, the tester, right? It is written again, Od Katub. It is written again, thou shalt not tempt Yahuwah Eloheka. Thou shalt not tempt or try or put to trial or proof. So what did the Israelites do in the wilderness concerning Yahuwah? They actually put him on trial. Can you imagine that? Wow. And then Acts, one more verse right here to make sure that all the verses line up. Acts 5:9. Acts 5:9, this verse here, all right, 5:9. Then Peter said to her, how is it that y'all have agreed together to tempt Haruach, the Ruach of Yahuwah of Adonai, tempt the Spirit of the Lord? Behold, look and see, the feet of them that have buried thy husband, Balek, your Baal, Balek, right, at the door, and shall carry thee out. Right? So we get a few examples right here of not tempting Yahuwah. So notice, to tempt the Spirit of Yahuwah is to tempt Yahuwah. To tempt the Son of Yahuwah, the Bain Elohim Hayim, is to tempt Yahweh. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying right there, right? Thou should not tempt, right? We are permitted. What are we permitted, right? We're permitted, right, to do so regarding tzedakah. Think about it. So we're not permitted to test or put on trial Yahweh Eloheinu. Deuteronomy 6:16, Matthew 4:7, Acts of the Apostles 5:9. But we are permitted to do so, understand the context here, regarding the matter of tzedakah. Tzedakah. Now, tzedakah Hebraically is charity, and tzedakah also is a word related to tzedek and tzadak, which relates to righteousness, right? Right choiceness, right? Righteous giving is tzedakah, as well as regarding the offering of our tithes. How do we know this? Let's go to the script here. Once again, here a little to one witness, the Brit Chadasha, New Covenant, and here to the next witness, the Brit, right? The Brit Hayashana, what we call the Old Testament, the Tanakh. Here, Deuteronomy 14:22. 14:22. It says, what does it say? Thou shalt truly tithe. Notice the word for truly is the H6237. The word for tithe is the H6237. Because in the Hebrew, it says, thou shalt asar the ma'asir. Thou shalt tithe the tithe. But it's brought out in the sense of truly, really, really tithe. Thou shalt truly tithe or tithe the tithe, all the increase of thy seed, that thy field bringeth forth year by year. Now people say, well, where's that point? How are we permitted right here? Well, we have to compare this verse here in Deuteronomy 14:22 with Malachi. Malachi, according to the theme, the subject, the point, right? Malachi chapter 3, right, at verse 10. At verse 10, what it says? Bring y'all all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat, or more better, there may be treif. Some say treif. That's what they say, treif. You say treifa, but treif. Like treif, right? That's like meat, torn, flesh, prey, food, comes from the idea of taraf, something that is torn off or rend off, like a portion, right? A portion. But you see where it said the hefil, to provide food, right there, to provide food, right? Supply causatively, right? That supply with food, as in morsels, like a piece that's plucked off, morsels, reif, right? It says right here, bring y'all all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat or the morsel food supply in mine house, mine bait, and prove me now. There we go, the word prove, right? Bachan. It's a type of testing and trying and scrutinizing. Usually this word is trying gold. Bachan, to try gold. It can be to try persons. It can be the heart, right? And try even a man of God, right? On that level, to make sure it's a man. The sense of it, Bachan, is like testing metals, and in a figurative sense, it's like to really investigate something, right? It says, prove me now. Yahweh says, prove me. This is a sort of not to tempt me, but you can prove what I'm saying. Say if Yahweh Sabaoth, Yahweh, Jehovah Sabaoth, right? Sabaoth, of hosts of armies. If I will not open you the windows of Shemaim and pour you out what? A baraka, right? That not enough. That will be not enough. All that line, that last line, there shall not be room. Then it has enough outside of italics to receive it. The Hebrew is more, and pour you out a baraka, not enough. In other words, not enough. Like so much baraka. It's not going to be enough. Right? Die. There's the word die. Right? Not the English die, but it's like enough. You want more, die. Enough. That's why we say in Hebrew, die. Like it's enough. Beka, right? He will empty out, pour out, empty out. So this is the case right here. in Malachi. Malachi, right? This verse right here in Malachi. Let's see if we can bring this out right here. Haviu et kol ma'aser il beita ha'otzar, the storehouses. We hear tarefa bebeiti, and there'll be taref, right? There'll be supply, food, right, in my house. And it will be taref bebeiti, ube hanuni. So here he says and bechanuni, and y'all bechanu, all of y'all to bahan. This word right here, bahan, right? All of you to bahan ani. So Yahweh is inviting us to investigate, put this to the test, investigate like you trying metals. See if this is really gold. Ubachanuni, nah, come on now. Ubachanuni, nah. Bazot asher Yahweh Tzebaot im lo wa eftach. Eftach. Im lo, if not, eftach. Eftach. I will open. Eftach, to patach. Patach, to open. Eftach, I will open. Im lo eftach lakem. Open lakem, for you all lakem. Right? Eita arubot hashamayim, arubot, right? I will open the arubas. What's an aruba? Aruba. Aruba is the lattice, the window, right? The window, the lattice is the aruba, right? It has a sense of lurking, from a lurking place, like somebody's behind a window, a lattice, but it's like a window, like a dovecote, the dovecote of like the pigeonholes. It can be a chimney with apertures for smoke, but it's like the openings. It's like a window. In the Hebrew, this is brought out as an opening, right? To open for you. Im lo, if I will not, eftach lakem, eftach, open for lakem, y'all. Eta, what will I open for y'all? Arubot, the windows of Hashemayim. Arubot Hashemayim. Why? Here, Erikti lakem, erikti, right? To ruk, right? Ruk, right? Erikti, right? Is to empty out, right? To empty out, to pour out, to empty out. So in one sense, like to pour out, but it's a sense of like when you open the heavens, right? The heavenly blessings, he's going to pour them. Why? Hariktu lakem. Baraka, right? Ad, right? Beli die. Baraka, ad, beli die. Interesting here. Baraka, ad, beli die. Open for you the blessing, ad, going on, beli, without, die, without sufficiency, right? In other words, it's going to be without like a stop, like without enough. It's going to be so enough. It's like a blessing immeasurable. Baraka ad beli died, right? Ad beli, right? Until without die, until it's not enough. Enough. So of course, this verse from HaTorah has been grievously and woefully, right, abused by unscrupulous TV preachers, local pastors, in the pulpit, but that doesn't mean that we should disdain the opportunity to receive to Kabbalah Baraka, to welcome Kabbalah Baraka, to welcome Baraka, right? Mei Shemayim, from the heavens. How? By conscientiously giving as Yahweh directs us, especially here in this Torah reading and feeding. It points out a lot of giving. The sabbatical year, we cancel debts. Can you imagine a community in which that as we go through the years, debts get built up, or we get to a time where we can cancel debts? Not go on. You owe me. That was 50 years ago. Yeah, you still owe me. How much? $5 here. You know what I mean? The pain it causes in the psyche, right? So even to give as Yahweh directs us charitably, but also to give up on some things. Forget about that, to strike that debt. After all, according to HaTorah, Tzedakah, charity, or the secondary translation, righteousness, Tzedakah, it saves from death. Did you know that righteousness, Tzedakah, which also in the Hebrew is charity or righteous giving, it saves from death. And the only thing that we can really so-called take with us when ones and ones pass out of this life is what we have freely given away to others in the avoda, in the service to Yahweh Eloheinu. So we serve Yahweh Eloheinu by do good, especially in his way, truth, and life, right? Here, we like to share a parable, right, that speaks on such lines, and we hope that you can see the revelation right here. There once happened that a person gave 100 measures as his ma'aser, his tithe, ma'aser, right? Each year, for every 1,000 measures of grain that grew. So a person in giving tithe, he gave 100 measures as his ma'aser, his tithe, his tenth, each shana, each year, for every 1,000 measures of grain that grew for him. In his will, he commanded that Beno, his son, to always take, right, and make ma'aser properly, to always give ma'aser, that tithe, properly. Now, the first year, the first shana, Haben, right, the son, he gave a tenth of ma'aser of 1,000 measures. But then he said to himself, Ike, how can I give so much as a ma'aser, right? The next shana, right, the next year, he gave only 90 measures. So the first year he gave 100 like his father, like his daddy, his Abba taught him, right, of the 1,000 measures, right? The next year, right, getting that same increase, he gave only 90 measures. But then only, get this, 900 measures grew. Something happened, right? As he got, the measure for measure. The third year, he gave only 80. But guess what? Only 800 grew. With each 10 measures that he took away, his field, his land, his ground was diminished by 100 measures until it yielded only 100 measures. The amount that had originally been given as a ma'aser. For this reason, HaTorah, the Torah, direction instruction says, give ma'aser, give the tithe so that you will be able to give it again and remain wealthy. When we study the Torah, this is the spirit of the word. Give the ma'aser, right? When we had that land and it was the giving of the ma'aser of the land, the crops, and the growth of the livestock. Give ma'aser so that you will be able to give it again and remain wealthy. From the Ena or Ena, right? A document there. Now, why do we give that? Why do we share that? That's like the parables, like Rabbeinu Yeshua. He gave these parables. This is how we learned and how we taught, by giving these examples to kind of bring out the spirit of the word so we can be in the spirit of it. The whole idea of giving is counterintuitive to the egoism. What you mean? The egoism, the ego, me, I, right? Of our natural perspective, even our carnal perspective. And therefore, the giving person, right? The person who is giving, right? The person who's giving testifies that he or she is seeing the truth of Yah's reality, as well as in the kingdom, right? In the universal, the true kingdom, right? stated simply, hardening our hearts, which is like a spiritual and a psychological disease, right? Hardening of the hearts, our hearts, to the needs of others is an act of low credit, right? Unbelief, lack of faith, right? A verse in our parsha. We have a verse in this Torah reading and feeding. There's a verse right here. Let's see if we can bring it up first, right? It's Deuteronomy. Remember, this is here a little. This is actually walking out what you read in the scripture, here a little and there a little, right? So Deuteronomy 15 and 10, this is the verse right here, Deuteronomy 15 and 10, right? This verse here, right? This pasuk, the pasuk in our parsha, it speaks directly to this. Deuteronomy 15 and 10 says, "Thou shalt surely give him, and thine heart shall not be grieved when thou givest to him, because that for this thing," for what? For this thing, you see the word thing right there, the word thing? For this davar, this word, this speech, this thing, this matter, right? For this thing, Yahweh Eloheka, Jehovah thy Elohim shall bless thee in all thy works, and in all that thou puttest thy hand to. You see, the putting the hand to is like when you see the hieroglyphs and ancient writings, they use the hand a lot. You see how they have the hand in ancient Mitzrayim, right? In the Hebrew, we have this in the verbal hieroglyphic sense. So it says, put your hand to. The hand is like the means of labor and work. Bless the work of your hands, right? So it says, you shall give to him freely. Another bringing out of this, give to him freely, your brother, your neighbor, and your heart shall not be grudging when you give to him. Now, you see, that is where we have to grow in grace. Your heart, your heart, your lebab, your inner man, your mind, right? The midst of you, your thinking, your reflection, your memory. You know what I mean? The seat of your appetites and emotions. But bringing it down right here to the heart, that organ right here to say like the mind, right? Your mind shall not be what? Shall not be grieved. Now, this is yara, right? Yara is like to tremble, to quaver, to quiver, right? To quiver, to be broken up, right? You don't be broken up. You know what I mean? Oh man, I should have given such and such. No, don't be grieved. Was it what Yahweh is saying? Don't grudge it when you give to him. Why? Because of this thing, this dabar, this word, this action, Yahweh, your Elohim, will bless you. He's going to increase you because you gave to your brother. He's going to increase you now in all your work, right? And in all that you undertake to do. So the sages in reasoning on this Torah reading and feeding, right? There's the phrase, right? The phrase in this verse right here. The phrase is, because that for this thing, right? Because that for this thing. That for this word, that for this thing. Let's bring this out in the Hebrew and let's see if we can get this portion of it right here in the Hebrew. That for this thing. We're at Deuteronomy 15 and 10, right? Biglal, where's it? Biglal. Where's Biglal? Right? Where's the word Biglal right here? Trying to find the verse. Sometimes the verses are kind of catty corner. Right? Sometimes the verses are catty corner. In other words, there'd be a versal difference. Right? Notain, okay, we have the Yod verse. Notain, the big law, oh, there we go. It's at the top right there. Okay. I'm looking too far down. Big law, okay. You see what it says? It says, because of this thing. What is this in the Hebrew? Right? Here we go, right here in the Hebrew. Let me highlight these words. Right? Because of this thing. Right? Let me get this. There we go. There's a full. Move that down. There, the Hebrew highlight is B, Galal, Ha, Dabar, Ha, Zeh. Right? Biglal, Ha, Dabar, Ha, Zeh. Biglal, Ha, Dabar, Ha, Zeh. Biglal, Ha, Dabar, Ha, Zeh. Now, the sages, they looked at this here. The Biglal, Ha, Dabar, Ha, Zeh. because hadabar, the word hazeh, this word hadabar hazeh, because of this word to say because of this thing. Let's bring this out. This is the word galal, right? Big galal, right? Big galal. What does this hint at? This hints that the world, in a sense, goes in a cipher. The world goes in a circle. Why? Galal, big galal, because. So that word because there is big galal, big galal, big galal, big galal, right? On account of, for the sake of. How do we know this? Because we get onto the Strong's, it says circumstance, but notice what it says, as rolled around. Circumstances as rolled around. You see what it says from 1556? Click on it. Galal, right? Galal means to roll away, to roll. Galal, gelele, bamaringa, gelele, like Galilee, Galal, right? To roll, right? So based on the big Galal, because of this thing, big Galal hadabar hazet, the sages recognize a hint that the world and life kind of goes in the circle. You know, big Galal, it kind of rolls around. You know, it goes around. They say what goes around, comes around. Today, Hayom, one is Osher, like one is rich, right? Tomorrow, the other, right, is Osher, is rich, right? This is inferred from the connection between the word that we have in the Torah reading and feeding right here, right? Where's that word? Okay, there's that word. It's on this line right here. Bi galal hadabar hazeh. Bi galal, right? Because of rolling. The circumstance is like it rolls upon this. Like, okay, you do that, it's going to come back to you. Because, bi galal. The word for circle in Hebrew is galgal. Galgal. The word for circle. You know, if you talk about, with the Bible, the circle the earth, the circle this, okay. But the word for circle in Hebrew is galgal. Right? Galgal. Both of which share the same root. Galal. Indeed, the sages of the Torah, they consider the act of giving, the tzedakah, right? Tzedakah, you notice the root is sadak, like tzedek and righteous. Tzedakah is charity or righteous giving as one of the greatest of the mitzvot, the greatest of the command. So do a mitzvah, do a command. What's the greatest? Is righteous giving. Since it is the essence of Yahuwah Eloheinu to give, it's the essence of he who be to do what? To give to his creation. He created the creation. He sustains the creation. He gives life to the creation. So the essence is that righteous giving. And it is through giving that we are able to see, right, to see, right, see the divine face, divine presence. We're able to see things from the divine way, right? We're able to see things from his perspective as it is written, right? And here a little, there a little, right here, Psalms. Bring it to the next exhibit, next example in this Darasha, right here, 17 and 15, right? 17 and 15, the last, oh man, I hit too far bottom right there. Here we go. Psalm 17 and 15. 17 and 15, right? There we go. Last verse. What's the last verse? It says, as for me, right? As for I will behold thy face in righteousness. I shall be satisfied when I awake with thy likeness. What's the Ivrit? The Hebrew is Ani b'tzedek. Ani, I, b'tzedek. B'tzedek. In what? In tzedek, right? Tzedek, the root idea of tzedakah, right? What is right, what is just. He says, Ani b'tzedek echezeh faneka echezeh. Now this behold is not the hine behold, but is chazah. What is chazah? It's to see, it's to perceive, but it's a next level of seeing. It's like to gaze at, to contemplate, right? To perceive, to contemplate. Also in the Hebrew, like the book of Revelation, is called Chazon Yohanan, the vision, Chazon, the Chazon of Yohanan. So what is being said here is, as for me, when I see in a vision, I behold in a vision thy face, thy face, thy presence, thy perception in righteousness. Ani b'tzedek echazeh faneka. It says, Esibah, I will be satisfied. Sabah, I will be satisfied. Esibah, behakitz, te munateka, right? Te munateka. I will be satisfied. Esibah, I will sabah. Sabah is to be satisfied. Shabbat, right? Sheba, right, is like Sheba to 7. So there's Sheba and there's Saba. Saba, to be satisfied. I'll be satisfied when I wake. Behakitz, in waking. Timunateka, with your timuna. With your, what's the timuna? Your form, your image, your likeness. Man was created in his image and after his likeness. You get the sense? After his likeness. After his tamuna. Get that right there. After that likeness. So Yahweh is charitable. He gives his creation. He's created his creation. He sustains his creation. Right? And that's an act of righteous giving. Right? So therefore, when we also now follow in that way, we are, right, not only created and recreated in his image by Shem Yeshua, but also after his likeness. But it's the first part of this verse. As for me, ani b'tzedek chazeh faneka, I will see as in a vision chazeh, thy face faneka, right, b'tzedek, right, b'tzedek. So the tzedek here, right, the tzedek here. Let's see if we can do this right here for one to kind of. I'm gonna select this right here, tzedek, right. So let's go. Right here, you have Sadak, to be just, right? You have Sadiq, right? One who is just, like a righteous person, right? It's Siddiqim, right? It's Siddiqim. Now, here, okay, there's Sadaq. I'm trying to find the Sadaq right here. Okay, it's the opposite way. There's Sidqa, doing what is right. Sidqa, righteousness, doing what is right, right? A beneficence. Beneficence is like a charity, right? There we go. Look at the number. Don't worry about the number. It's no boo-hoo-hoo number. It's just a number, right? And it's 4 of them right there. If you say, oh, 66666, okay. You obviously know what the 666 means. It's just a number right there. No, it's more to that. But tzedakah right here, just the entrance of the word. Ain't that something to put this word at that word? But anyway, be that as may, is justice, righteousness, right? The righteousness and government of a judge, ruler, king. The righteousness of Torah, the righteousness of the Davidic Messianic king. Righteousness is tzedakah. No, it's an attribute of Yahuwah. But tzedakah is also charity. Tzedakah in a case or cause, righteous giving. Tzedakah is truthfulness. Tzedakah, righteousness in the ethically what is right. Tzedakah as a vindication, justification, salvation. Right? But this is the word right here, right? Tzedakah for charity, which in another way of saying is righteous giving, right? Righteous giving. So since our lives, our liberty right here, our lives, our liberty, let's return right here. Let's go back to where we were right there. Boom, right? Since our lives and liberty are part of a greater whole, right? You know, like your life, you have someone that you are, you know, around you, relative, even those that might not have blood relations, still our lives are dependent on others, you know, in this world, right? Is a symbiotic relationship. We must understand that every deed we do brings to the world around us either a baraka, an empowerment for good, to prosper, or a kalala. But before we rush out to so-called, quote, bless everybody or bless the world, watch it, right? We're not saying that. Before we go about to do that, however, we must first take the pains to undergo something known as self-examination. Self-examination, all right? This is what the Torah teaches, self-examination. Matthew chapter 7, verse 5, remember? Matthew chapter 7, verse 5. Where he says, you chanif, Hypocrite, Yeshua says, first take the log out of your own eye, right? And then you will see clearly. You will do what? You will see clearly, right? To take the speck out of your ach's eye, right? Your brother's eye. And then we have 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. 2 Corinthians 13 and 5. Examine yourselves to see whether you are in the faith, in the admittance, in the true trust, the credit, in the faith. Test yourselves. Test yourselves. Try yourselves. Test yourselves. Or do you not realize this about yourselves, that Yeshua HaMoshiach is in you, unless indeed you fail to meet the test? Now, that's a little different reading. That was the ESV. So let's go to 2 Corinthians here, chapter 13, from the more usual KJV, basically, right? Let's see how the KJV read it. Let's go to KJV Light right here. Examine yourselves whether y'all be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Do what? Prove our own selves. No, y'all not your own selves, how that Yeshua HaMoshiach is in you, except unless y'all be reprobate, unless y'all be criminals. You know, like somebody say, I'm a Christian, but they don't know that Yeshua is in them. It's like they're an identity theft. You know what I mean? And the same also applies for those say Rasta and Rastafari. You know what I mean? I mean, who is in you? What is in you? And then we also have Galatians. Galatians, one other verse, right? Galatians 6, chapter 6, verses 3 to 4. Galatians chapter 6, verses 3 to 4. What does it read? Let's bring that up right here. Galatians chapter, that's the next book, right? 6, chapter 3. There we go. 3 right there. Okay, there we go. Here. First, the easy standard version. If anyone thinks he is something. If anyone thinks he is something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. But make each one test his own work. Test his own work. And then his reason to boast will be in himself alone and not in his neighbor. Bringing out the force of this. That was the ESV. The KJV typical, the more one that we used to, verses 3 and 4 of Galatians chapter 6. For if a man thinks himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceives himself. Verse 4. But may every man prove his own work. Prove his own work. To say prove is like to test his own work. And then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone. And then his reason to boast will be in himself alone and not in another and not in his neighbor. That happens a lot of times. You're like, my neighbor, you really made me feel down, or you let me down. But if your neighbor said, but you let me down. No, it's not about that. It's what so you expect sometimes the other, we should expect it of ourselves. It's a point right here. From a place of humility, right, and an awareness of our own frailty as human beings, right, are we able to genuinely help others? From a place of humility, right, as well as recognizing if it wasn't for the grace of Yahweh Eloheinu, there goes I. As one Rebbe, Yisrael Salanta, here's a quote from him. He once said this, and this is of some interest. When I was young, I wanted to change the world. I tried, but the world didn't change. So I decided to change my town, but my town wouldn't change. Then I resolved to change my family, but my family didn't change. Then I realized that I first had to change myself. And I would add, but then I realized that I couldn't even change myself. So I cried, I called to Yahweh for a new heart, and he answered Cain, yes, he answered my plea. Here, family, here, see, seen, sight, re'eh anoki noten lifnekem, hayom, baraka ukalala. To see, we have to see, right? We may be empowered to see. You know, may Yahuwah prayers, Father, cause me to see it as you want me to see it. Bashem Yeshua HaMoshiach. Here, brothers and sisters, the full. Thought this was an interesting reasonment to the theme. Here, Chabarim, to the theme of seeing. Right? The eye. Right? The eye. You know, in fact, before we just share the today's daily Psalm 76, right? Can't help but not add this right here. Did he say single eye? Is that how the translator translates it? Clear that. Come again. Right there. Okay, here. Red letter. Yeshua speaketh. Robenu speaketh. Matthew 6:22. The light of the body is ha'ain. Ain is the ain. Ha'ain is the ain, right? If therefore thine ain, right, thy ain, the eye, be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Right? We have a witness, Luke 11:34. The light of the body is ha'ain, the eye. Therefore, when thine eye is single, thine whole body also is full of light. But when it's evil, thy eye, thy perspective. You know, people say the third eye. We say it's the first eye, right? The frontlet between our eyes. They say put on the frontlet between our eyes. Isn't that the location of what ones would call the so-called third eye, but actually the first eye, right? So if that eye, right, what he says here again, the light of the body is the eye. Therefore, when thine eye is single, thy whole body is full of light, illumination. But when, right, is evil, look at that. It didn't say when it's double, but it already tells you that it's evil. That means if it's evil, it must not be single. Thy body also is full of disillumination. It's almost like, okay, my brother got that. He got that. I help him with a speck in his eye. And what? You know, you don't see. You can see that over there, but can't see that there. Just an interesting verse right here. Just wanted to bring that, bring that out right here for this ray, see, seen, sight. Today's daily psalm. Yes, Today's daily psalm, according to the royal order right here for the first day psalm right here. Just have a little moment right here just to touch on a brief, first here, Psalm 76. Psalm 76 has a beautiful theme, right? What is the theme? Chabarim. The theme right here is that Elohim, Eloheinu is triumphant. Ora, ora. This psalm is a companion and a sequel to Psalm 75, and it arose out of the same circumstance. The theme is common in the Psalter, in the chants. The defeat of Yisrael's foes, of Einai, the Beta Israel, bites Yisrael's foes, both those who are foreign and domestic. This is a glorification of Yahuwah's name, of the Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Baruch Hashem. The Holy One, blessed be He, blessed be the name. Today's daily psalm, Mizmor, get this. Mizmor Ein, wow. Ein Vav, Mizmor Ein, wow. As Ein in Hebrew has a numerical value of 70. So Ein, wow, Psalm 70 and 6, Vav, Ein wow. Here,
Psalm
on
76.
the eye.
מזמור עין וו, למנצח בנגינות, מזמור לאסף, שיר.
Yeah, I just got to say that. And it's a bingi. It's also a bingi note. Bingi note on the string music on the harps.
Psalm 76.
מזמור עין וו, למנצח בנגינות, מזמור לאסף, שיר. In
Judah is God known. known.
נודע ביהודה אלוהים, 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 אלוהים.
His name is great in Israel, in Israel, in Israel, in Israel, in Israel.
וישראל גדול שמו, גדול שמו, גדול שמו, גדול שמו.
In Salem also is his tabernacle, 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 tabernacle.
ויהי ושלם סוכו, 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 סוכו.
And his dwelling place in Zion, 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 Zion.
ומעונתו וציון, 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 וציון.
There break he the arrows of the bow, the bow, the bow, the bow, the bow, the bow.
שמה שיבר רשפי קשת, 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 קשת.
The shield and the sword and the battle, and the battle, Selah, 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 the battle.
מגן וחרב ומלחמה, סלע, 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 סלע.
Selah, 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 Selah. Thou art more glorious and excellent than the mountains of prey. The stout-hearted are spoiled, they have slept their sleep, and none of the men of might have found their hands. At thy rebuke, O God of Jacob, both the chariot and horse are cast into a dead sleep. Thou, even thou, art to be feared, and who may stand in thy sight when once thou art angry? Thou didst cause judgment to be heard from heaven. The earth feared and was still when God arose to judgment to save all the meek of the earth. Selah. Surely the wrath of man shall praise thee. The remainder of wrath shalt thou restrain. Vow and pay unto the Lord your God. Let all that be round about him bring presents unto him that ought to be feared. He shall cut off the spirit of princes. He is terrible to the kings of the earth. Kings of the earth, 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 kings of the earth.
Of the earth, come to yourselves. Here, Shabbat 144.
Psalm 144. Blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. My goodness and my fortress, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield, and he in whom I trust, who subdueth my people under me. Lord, what is man that thou takest knowledge of him, or the son of man that thou makest account of him? Man is like to vanity. His days are as a shadow that passeth away. Bow thy heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. Cast forth lightning and scatter them. Shoot out thine arrows and destroy them. Send thine hand from above. Rid me and deliver me out of great waters, from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. I will sing a new song unto thee, O God. Upon a psaltery and an instrument of 10 strings will I sing praises unto thee. It is he that giveth salvation unto kings, who delivereth David his servant from the hurtful sword. Rid me and deliver me from the hand of strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood, that our sons may be as plants grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as cornerstones, polished after the similitude of a palace, that our garners may be full, affording all manner of store, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our streets, that our oxen may be strong to labor, that there be no breaking in nor going out, that there be no complaining in our streets. Happy is that people that is in such a case. Yea, happy is that people whose God is the Lord.
Yes, yes, yes. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Praise Yes, Shavua Tov, a good strong,
Shavua Tov, a good 7, good strong, sabbatically speaking. Yes, I. Shalom, Chaverim, shalom. Give thanks.
And here as a tribe, also Psalm 67, as it contains a priestly blessing and adaptation of the priestly blessing in Psalm 67. Right? So Psalm 144 is a Sabbath seal psalm. After the Shabbat calm comes the intrusion of the world, you know, and the warfare, the work fear, and everything. And there's a baraka within that psalm, Psalm 144. And then Psalm 67 also at the termination of the Shabbat is Psalm 67, right? Psalm 67. It says like Elohim, it says Elohim be gracious to I and bless I. Elohim Yechanenu, we Barkeinu, Yebarkeinu, may he bless I, Yebarkeinu, may he cause his face to shine toward us. But in the Hebrew, it has a more intimate sense. May he shine his face like with us. Ya'ir panayo itano, with us. May he shine his face so that his face shine with I face, testify to his grace. Selah. Right here in the outro, right here, Shalom, Chavarim, Shalom. Psalm 67. Take note of the priestly blessing, the adaptation of the priestly blessing. Here. Shema Yisrael. Shabuto. Shalom, Chavarim, Shalom. The Hitarot.
מזמור ס"ז למנצח בנגינות מזמור שיר. אלוהים יחוננו ויברכנו, יאר פניו איתנו סלע. מזמור ס"ז למנצח בנגינות מזמור שיר. אלוהים יחוננו ויברכנו, יאר פניו איתנו סלע. לדעת בארץ דרכך, בכל גויים ישועתך. יודוך עמים אלוהים, יודוך עמים כולם. ישמחו וירננו לאומים, כי תשפוט עמים מישור, ולאומים בארץ תנחם סלע. יודוך עמים אלוהים, יודוך עמים כולם. ארץ נתנה יבולה, יברכנו אלוהים אלוהינו, יברכנו אלוהים, ויראו אותו כל אפסי ארץ. מזמור ס"ז למנצח בנגינות מזמור שיר.
Psalm 67. God be merciful unto us and bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us. Psalm 67. God be merciful unto us and bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us. Selah. Psalm 67. God be merciful unto us and bless us, and cause his face to shine upon us. Selah. That thy way may be known upon earth, thy saving health among all nations. Let the people praise thee, O God, let all the people praise thee. O let the nations be glad and sing for joy, for thou shalt judge the people righteously and govern the nations upon earth. Selah. Let the people praise thee, O God, let all the people praise thee. Then shall the earth yield her increase, and God, even our own God, shall bless us. God shall bless us, and all the ends of the earth shall fear him, shall fear him, shall fear him, shall fear him, shall fear him.
למנצח בנגינות מזמור שיר. אלוהים יחוננו ויברכנו, מאיר פניו איתנו סלע. לדעת בארץ דרכך, בכל גויים ישועתך. ידוך עמים אלוהים, ידוך עמים כולם. ישמחו וירננו לאומים, כי תשפוט עמים מישור, ולאומים בארץ תנחם סלע. ידוך עמים אלוהים, ידוך עמים כולם. ארץ נתנה יבולה, יברכנו אלוהים אלוהינו, יברכנו אלוהים ויראו אותו כל אפסי הארץ.
Yes. Shabbat Tov, Shalom, Habarim. Be well, be well. Have a good, strong 7. Yahweh, truth and life. Yes, taking up the 48th degree sabbatical study here in the season. Be well, be blessed, highly favored. Stick to the way, the truth, and the life. Yes, I grow in grace and the knowledge of Adonai Yeshua HaMoshiach. Shalom, Habarim. Shalom. Yes, I, Yeshua Shalom. Give thanks, family. Lehitarot, until we seeing one another again in spirit and in truth. Be well. Have a good first day. Yom HaRish.